All right, whiskey review time. Finally got my hands on the elusive Springbank 18. Let's tell you all about it. Springbank 18 is a Campbeltown single malt scotch. This is the 2023 release, 46% alcohol. It's a vatting of 65% sherry, 15% rum, and 20% bourbon. These are so hard to find, but glad I did. This thing is just as good as I thought it was going to be. My only Springbanks I've had recently are the Hazelburn and a Springbank 15, and man, I know why these are hard to find. They are very good. This one specifically is a bit more fruity and spicy than I would have thought, but man, it is very good. Hope you enjoyed this review. I love this whiskey. Cheers. Okay, I finally get to nose the Springbank. Just waste no time. Ooh, right off the bat, it's very earth-centric. What I mean is there's some corn, a lot of wheat fields going on, some soil, definitely that oak spice influence from those bourbon barrels. And right there, a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg, nice spice influence. You get that Campbeltown brine you're expecting from a Springbank, and that really goes nicely with those like oaky and earthy tones. Way less sweetness on the nose that the 65% Oloroso would probably say, hey, I'm gonna be super sweet. It's not. It's being overtaken by this fruity, spicy character. A little bit of like a banana, grape, yeasty bread going on. There's a smidge of caramel, maybe a touch of coffee and chocolate, but it is very spice forward. And I think most of that is the rum and the bourbon barrels, but it is a very incredibly smooth nose. Actually, a little bit of coconut right there. There is absolutely no bite on this. My wife might actually not hate this whiskey. It's finally below 50% alcohol because some of the ones you've had lately have been very hot, but this is very inviting. It's almost like a calming whiskey, if that makes any sense. But right now, I'm gonna give this nose a 4. Again, I'm excited. Springbank 18 finally on the channel, but I would have liked a little more sweetness, though that Oloroso, the 65% of this vatting is Oloroso, so I wanted some more sweetness, and I was expecting it. Haven't gotten it quite yet. It's a really good nose, and it makes me want to drink it, but I think a 4 for the nose right now is pretty fair. Okay, palate time. But check out this color. It's really, really nice golden amber. And the legs are pretty quick. It's not gonna be really chewy, and it's not quite medium bodied. It's gonna be a little thinner. It's gonna go around the mouth real quick. So you have to hold those notes real fast, see what they are. Oh my. A bit of tropical fruit there. So I'm gonna say right there was a lot of banana, coconut, and then if you like grated some oranges on top of that, a little bit of the citrus zest. And then underneath of that is a slight toffee note. This was not what I was expecting from a Springbank when I saw the vatting had a lot of sherry in it. Super fruity, super spicy, not in a bad way. Just my expectations are much different than what this actually tastes like. But I actually am getting a little more sweetness on the palate than I was on the nose, which is good because what I want. There's a little bit of peat behind all of that. And again, those like sugar cookie brine vibes that I always get out of these Campbeltowns are coming through. That's what I love. And in fact, the 46%, it's sitting a little warmer than that on this front finish right now, and it's pretty enjoyable. That sip was very good. Almost some brown sugar cookies right there. Really, really nice sweet tones. Much, much sweeter than the last sip and the nose. Just what I wanted here. That sherry is starting to come through now. A little bit of cherry sitting on the back tongue there. Smidge of apples. Again, super fruity. But now we're getting to more of those like darker red fruits like the plums and the raisins, some grapes. But that banana on the front still sitting around, and a little bit of coconut. So super good whiskey. Third sip. So as you can tell, I've been busy with this bottle. Been inspecting it, been enjoying it as well. It's got me through COVID. But man, that is a fine, fine dram. I'm going to give the Palate a 4.5. It's really, really good. It is super, super smooth. My wife might actually enjoy this, like I said, about the nose. But you guys know I like my higher ABV whiskeys, but this is something good that you can just, sip on and not really get a big jolt. It's a nice relaxing whiskey. Not gonna be too punchy, not gonna be too crazy, but because it is so low, you can probably drink it really quickly. At least I could. I'm very used to barrel-proof cask strength whiskeys, but I like how it still has a good bit of flavor, even though it is 46%. So because of that, with the flavor sticking around so well, I'm gonna give the Palate a 4.5. Check out the finish. The finish of this guy is a little sad. It's like a one-dimensional finish right now. I'm only getting kind of like the earthy peat vibes. Flavors that I do enjoy, but I want all of that spicy fruit that I was getting with a subtle bit of sweetness there. Not getting it, and it goes away really fast. Again, lower ABVs. I love long finishes. This one does not stick around that long. And because of that, you're almost forced to drink it quicker. And because these bottles are so hard to get a hold of, I don't want to do that. So I would rather the finish have been sticking around a bit longer or get more flavors on a shorter finish. So I'm going to give that finish a 3. Not a super good finish. I'm very sad. I'm sorry, Springbank, but you do deserve it, I think. I'm going to give the finish a 3. Now, the value is going to be the sad part. These things are incredibly hard to find. The only reason I have this bottle is thank you, Scotch Father. He was up at a store about 50 minutes from me, found one, called me, said, do you want it? I was like, yes. That was $260, and that's an insane markup. It shouldn't be that much, but the market for Springbank is crazy. It's almost like the bourbon market. Really hard to find, and when you do find them, you're just gonna get, kind of bent over. So $260, that is not worth it. I think MSRP for that, I'm saying it's gotta be at the very smallest $180. I do not, $260 for that is kind of absurd. Glen Scotia 15 on my other shelf is $85. And Bowmore 18 is $180. And Bowmore even is a premium product. So I'm gonna give the value on that a 3. I mean, the market's crazy. If this thing was sub $200, I think it'd be worth it because I think Campbeltown and Springbank specifically are just top there for that region at the very least. But $260, and then they get the 9% Maryland tax. It just gets kind of crazy at that point. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna give the value a 3. 14.5 overall, kind of low, but I think specifically the value was really kind of killed this. If this was sub 200, I really do think I give the value around a 4.5 or a 5 because it is a very fine dram. The finish, I'm maybe a little bit harsh. I do like my finishes more than most parts of the whiskey because it's what you remember. It's the last part of it that you have. And the longer it lasts, the more you have that memory of the whiskey in your brain. So low on the finish, definitely low on the value, but 14.5 is still very solid. Maybe this year I can find another Springbank or Hazelburn and maybe get that Campbeltown Springbank score up a little bit, but for now, 14.5. See what my wife thinks. Hey, wife time. You're so far away today. What's going on? Hey, this is a 46% alcohol. It's super low than you've been used to. I've been giving you 60%, 55, 58. So this is super smooth. I think you might like it. Give that thing a sniff. What do you think? Get some maple out of that?
Yeah, and vanilla.
Maybe some fruit spice?
No.
No? Okay. We'll give it a sip. See if you do like it or not. I'm not super hopeful. Ooh, bad face, then an explanation.
It's smooth.
Yeah, but you don't like the flavor?
It burned my nose at first.
Burned your nose at first?
Yeah, but...
It looked like you took a bigger sip and swallowed it pretty fast, yeah.
I think I did.
So, take small sips and swallow slowly. But you didn't hate it?
I didn't hate it, no.
Okay, that's good. Normally, so I think the solution for her is lower ABVs, smoother whiskeys, and we might find a little one just like Kai 07. Anyway, like this video, give it a like, not subscribed yet, consider doing so, and I'll see you guys next time.